Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And boy, if we have half as much fun in the next hour as we've had in the last 3.5 minutes getting ready for this show, you guys are going to have a great show to watch. It is going to be super fun. Longtime favorite guest is back to tell us about his Christian surfing. Amanda is here with us today as well,
yep.
Producing, and the new Stream Deck that Pete donated to us is working perfectly.
It's lovely.
It has 17 buttons that Amanda doesn't know what they do.
No, it only has 2 that work.
Just like a car.
2 that work. Look.
It's just like Amanda's car.
Look, 2 buttons. 2 buttons are illuminated.
Yes. The rest, you don't know what they do.
They don't do anything.
They're just like your car.
They're dead buttons. Mm-hmm. My car's not quite dead.
I'm kidding.
It's a sad story.
All right. And we have lots of sad stories, and I have to report on a Pete Melfi sighting.
Peefs?
A Pete Melfi sighting.
A Pete Melfi
sighting. It's rare when you see him out of the studio. I felt like David Attenborough was narrating behind me as I walked down the street towards him.
Behold the elusive Pete Melfi.
It's a rare sighting. And when you find out where I saw him and who he was with, it was even rarer.
Scandal.
It wasn't scandalous. It was really rather nice to see. And Tim O'Neill is with us today, the legend. What do you have on your ad? Surfers for
Autism.
That's awesome.
I'm repping the boys that I worked with this weekend.
That is fantastic. Nice. And you were doing a surf camp today for Colonial Church.
I was with your wife. Your beautiful wife was there.
And this Saturday, you'll be at SurfQuest. So you have managed to find out a way. I am so jealous. You have donated an entire week to Christian surfers, which you came to talk about. You donated another half a week to Colonial Church. And then just to make up for it on Saturday, you're gonna do the full day.
I did the full day Saturday in Cocoa Beach with Surfers for Autism.
And now you got
shout out to my boy Moose Brown.
So basically, the only day you weren't on surfing for someone else was the day you went to church.
This is true.
Okay, all right. Those of you that believe anything that I say about Tim, you now understand what a great person he is, regardless of what I am about to say about him for the rest of the show.
Yes.
You're so mean.
I am.
Or what you said earlier.
They didn't hear that.
They don't yet know that happened, but it definitely did. Message me if you want to know.
Yeah, message Amanda if you'd like to know half of the jokes that were told in the 3.5. All right, Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been serving St. Augustine for over 39 years. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That includes nights, weekends, and holidays. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning is dedicated to customer service, and that's evident from everything they do, from the time they answer your call to the time they get to your house to the time they resolve your problem. They want you to feel confident about the care you're receiving from Powell. They've got a fleet of over 10 trucks and a 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment. And believe me right now, in this kind of heat, when your parts and your equipment go out, you want Powell to come there and fix it for you because you want AC back, and that's what they do for you. Give them a call, 904-794-2665. Call Andrew and his staff. Absolutely amazing people and a great company. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning.
Do they work on Honda vans? Because my AC is going out of my van. Got to call him.
Tim and I can fix that. We're not sure that it's going to be fixed, but we can do something.
We'll boil some water for you.
Windows.
It's all
the windows will look great.
It's all ball bearings right now.
The team at South State Bank is a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you are looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations to serve you: State Road 312, State Road 16, or The Beach. You can also visit them at southstatebank.com. They are a member FDIC. Now, if you don't have dinner plans yet, join the Tringali family for dinner. You can go to Carmelo's Pizzeria, voted best pizza 9 years running. It's New York-style brick oven pizza. They also have salads, subs, wings, and more. Or you could head down to 123 Burger House. They have the best burger 3 years running: chicken, wings, salads, authentic wood-fired pizza. They also have ice cream for dessert. Both restaurants have dine-in, takeout, or delivery through Bite Squad or Grubhub. Join the Tringali family for dinner.
And opening their doors in 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, hail, fire, floods, and all kinds of other events. Locusts, cicadas, Nights of Lights. They've been here for all of it for us. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. See Knights of Lights again. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of their core values, says owner Ashley Casey, and they pride themselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help their clients meet their insurance needs. Look, these are two really important reads I gave you tonight. How to keep your AC and heat running, especially AC this summer, and how to keep insurance on your house. And the Casey Agency insures this show. We love the group over there. They're just absolutely amazing people. Give them a call, Brightway Insurance, the Casey Agency. Ashley and all of his staff are looking forward to helping you.
They also got really clean windows right now.
They have really clean windows, and the legend would know.
This is true.
As an expert on
also
clean
at
windows.
Carmelo's. I forgot. At Joe's Play.
Listen, I bet you wash the windows of all of our sponsors.
Not necessarily.
Solomon Services?
No.
Sal.
No
I see
wonder-
Sal every morning, too.
I didn't know those were windows anymore. You can't see out of them. They're so dirty. We'll get Sal going on that tomorrow morning. All right, Big Brothers and Big Sisters has an online auction. It started on June the 6th. It continues through the 13th, which is 3 days from today. All the funds raised during the auction will support Big Brothers, Big Sisters in making matches and empowering children in St. Johns County through the Big Brothers, Big Sisters program. Everyone, regardless of their location, can participate in the Big Brothers, Big Sisters summer online auction to support their mission and get great items. You've got the link up there again?
They were looking at it now.
You are so good. I don't even have to ask. I do not even have to ask. I always have to ask Tim if I can have a wave, but Amanda would already have said that wave's yours.
I'm already on the wave, Mike. I mean, quite frankly, you're dropping in on me no matter where you're at.
I'm out. I'm a little late.
Always.
Always a little late. A couple of things. First of all, I got a brand new shirt from the Sports Corner today.
Yeah.
I rolled up to get some swag done for the company for A.D. Davis, and there was a new sign up. It said, stop in if you want a free T-shirt.
Ooh.
So I got my work done, and I said, hey, where's the free T-shirt? And they all started laughing. They go, we've only had the sign up 5 minutes, and we've already had 2 people. Yes. So I have a brand new Sports Corner shirt. It is incredible comfort, soft.
It looks
Doesn't that
very
look
soft.
good?
It looks very soft.
They're amazing. Do you buy all your shirts from the Sports Corner?
I used to.
Oh.
Where's Micah Mad Dog Kluge? I bet he's going to... I'm in trouble.
Listen, the Kluges are great. They're just absolutely awesome family that has run that business for 2 generations now.
This is true.
So really, really good folks, and love dealing with them. They've done all of our work for forever, Tim, just to make you feel guilty.
Okay, I don't have any. I have no words.
Nah, you shouldn't.
Micah.
Just a quick apology to the Kluges would be fine.
When I see Drew in church, I'll let him know.
Yes, you'll let him know.
Well, he's an accountant, though.
He's a great young man, though.
They've done our vacation shirts. We've had like big group vacations, and we've designed shirts, and they've done all of our vacation shirts. I have a bunch of them in my closet.
Loyalty. That's all we're saying. Loyalty. No, the Sports Corner is great. You should go down there. They have all kinds of stuff. If you're a pickleballer, I noticed 12 new paddles in there today.
Yeah.
You a pickleballer?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to pick it up because I'm almost that age.
Right.
Right. I don't think you can get your Social Security card in Florida unless you play pickleball. I think there's a box you have to check.
You have to live in the villages.
No, I'm not living in the villages. That's a bridge. I don't need Social Security if I have to live in the villages. Look, the coolest thing about you going into the villages before me, because you're older than me, is you can write a whole primer for what to do and not to do. And what color loofah to have on your...
That's already on the internet. You can find that key on the internet.
Yeah. I have no knowledge of the villages.
We did an entire show on the loofahs and the colors and what they meant. And at the bottom of the article, Amanda, do you remember what the valet said?
Oh, I don't remember.
There was a valet at the bottom. They basically asked this kid, hey, we're doing research on the loofah colors, and does it mean that people are into different things here in the villages? The kid said, I've heard that story for years. Let me tell you something. These are all old people. There's only a certain number of golf carts you can get. There's only a certain number of ways you can make them look different. So without the loofah, they don't even know which golf cart is theirs. I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than that.
It's a word off of dementia, not sexiness.
It has nothing to do with what you people wish your older years will be like. Some 40-year-old's writing that story. Boy, I hope it's as good in the Villages when I get there. It's not.
What was it in Caddyshack? See your future, be your future.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I just remember now. I know why tigers eat their young. Oh, it's too bad. All right, so this Friday passed. Darcy and I decide, you know what? It doesn't look that crowded downtown. I drove there. I said, let's go downtown. Let's do the downtown experience. Mm. So we park on.
How much had you been drinking?
None. I had 0 drinks. We said, let's just go out. We haven't been out downtown in a while. Let's go see this. So we parked on the east side of the bridge, walked over. It was a beautiful night. Wind was blowing about 700 miles an hour as we walked over the bridge. And we get onto St. George Street. Now, I'm not expecting to see anyone that I know. I mean, this is Friday night downtown. It's like, I probably won't see a soul. And I looked down the street and I went, oh my God, it's alive. It was Pete Melfi. It was Pete Melfi walking towards me, but it wasn't just Pete. He had 2 young Utes with him. He had 2 Utes with him. And so I entered, Pete and Darcy and I, we all say hello. He introduced the Utes. Now, for years, I have asked Pete to hey, can you come on the show on this day or that day? Somebody just canceled out. Is there any way? 99% of the time when Pete says no, it's because he's off doing something with his godchildren. Mm-hmm. I thought they were imaginary. I thought they did not exist, and it was just a convenient excuse not to come on the show. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's not a convenient excuse not to come on the show, but they really were real. And when I told them, I was like, oh my God, they're real. I thought they were imaginary. They both laughed so hard. It was...
So you met his godchildren finally.
Yes, I finally met. But it was great to see Pete out and downtown.
He's a local legend. If you he's a local legend.
What was surprising is that normally when I see him out and around, people are giving him hugs, and no one was hugging Pete. You have to get Pete HDF. No one was hugging Pete. No one was asking for his autograph.
No.
It was really, really cool though to see him down there, and it was awesome. So yes. And then we did, Darcy and I went to trailer park. The food there is really, really good.
Riley tells me she likes it.
If you have not been there, you should try it. We split for dinner because Darcy and I are both so healthy. We split the waffle fries covered in cheese, ranch dressing, pickles, little bits of pickles, fried chicken. It was
So you had chicken and waffles.
I had chicken and waffle fries. And it was so good.
Wow.
It was amazing. We just split it. If you had ordered that as appetizer, you never would have been able to eat that.
You almost had me. I can't do it with the pickles.
Why not?
No pickles. I hate pickles.
What do you do when you go to
How did you have 3 kids without pickles?
Ice cream. That works too.
All right.
When you go to get the Lord's chicken, do you take the pickle off of the chicken?
The Lord's chicken.
Absolutely.
You do, really?
Yes. Jesus can keep my pickle.
That was a life changer for me. The first time I had Chick-fil-A,
and there was a pickle. I was like, this is
awesome.
That's exactly what I said.
Yes.
No pickles for me.
Yeah.
Nope.
So good. So very, very good. Okay. So and then we hopped over, we walked down the street. Our kids have been telling us about boat drinks. So we went into boat drinks and we had a drink there. Waitresses were nice. Staff was good. But it wasn't too crowded downtown. We looked downstairs and it was crowded. Then we went upstairs.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the bar. You know, sometimes you're in a bar, there's a group of people that have been drinking and are having a really good time, but they get louder as they go on. Mm-hmm. And we looked outside and there were a few seats open outside. And we're like, let's go sit outside. So
that used to be the Monk's Vineyard?
It did used to be the Monk's Vineyard.
That's
yes.
Right. Yeah.
It's really funky in there. I enjoy it. Louis and I have been in there a couple of times. We'll go down and we'll see whatever show Clay's got running sound on at the Oak. And then we'll go to Boats Drinks. It's nice.
Yeah. Is that one of your children? Do you need to answer the phone?
Not answering the phone. I left my truck open so he could get the tag. He could get the tag for his truck.
Okay.
If you know where the studio is, prank Tim's truck. It's open right now.
No, Kelly just texted me, said I just locked your truck.
His kids looking out for him.
That's right.
But then we went to Mayday ice cream. Mm-hmm. Oh, there was a long line in Mayday.
There always is.
It moved really quickly. They did a great job.
Where's Mayday down there?
Mayday is in the 4-story building that used to be the Bubble Room upstairs, and it's downstairs now. It's on Hippolyta Street across from this little-known restaurant called the Columbia.
That also has very clean windows.
Yes,
It also has very clean windows.
Dad, I need
this is very good. He's putting a note down. Call Columbia. It's time to get the. Like Tim's making notes of all these places that he hasn't been. No, so it was really fun to go downtown. We walked back over. Really, just a pretty cool night. I mean, it was really neat. So had a good time in downtown. I encourage you, if you haven't been downtown lately, kind of now's the time to go.
Yeah,
it's not too hot, it's not too bad. Weather's not the middle of the week's pretty good too.
Yeah,
although some of the places are closed Tuesday and Wednesday. Boat Drinks is closed Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, because they have to have a weekend at some point. It's small business. I mean,
I agree.
Busy on the weekends, so take those slow weeknights off.
Yeah. Super fun, though. Really fun. And seeing Pete Melfi down there made it all right.
Yeah.
Made it all good.
I'm unlocking my truck.
Did he lock it and forget to get the thing out?
I don't know. But he said, unlock my truck. Unlock your truck. So hopefully that
works.
Is that ballistic impact glass?
Yes, because
of course it is.
Of course it is. It's kryptonite proof, too.
I unlocked it, so.
That is glass that can withstand Florida Man games.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See how I got a dig in there for Florida Man games? Free dig for Florida Man games. Also, the Jackie Hurd calendar.
Yes.
Today is June the 10th. Since there's nothing on here, we will declare June the 10th, Day of the Legend.
Day of the Legend.
This is now your day. From now on, June the 10th, it's Legend Day.
Whoa.
Jackie, we're helping you fill out these blank ones. You should be paying attention.
I want Juneteenth.
No,
that's a federal holiday.
No, you don't get a federal
holiday.
One. You don't have that one.
You just have to work on getting your day to be made a federal holiday.
Listen, just tell Joe Biden you know Hunter Biden and you know his brother James. You should get a free holiday for that.
Yeah,
that's all you need?
That's all you need. Tell him you've got something for the big guy. That's all you need to tell him. You'll be fine.
10% for the big guy.
If you want to do 10, that's fine. They will accept more, I'm sure.
But no less.
No less.
No less
no
than 10%.
less.
A pack of Depends, that's something.
I know. That's a good one. You just came up with Father's Day gifts. That's one of our 5 questions. Amazing, Amanda.
I love that a pack of Depends clued you off on Father's Day. What does that say about you, Mike Davis?
Well, it reminded me what Tim's kids are getting him.
Not supposed to tell.
I can work with anything.
It's supposed to be a surprise.
I can work with anything today. Yes.
These are like just big fat softballs.
They are. Tim is in here, and you're just 100%.
Send it right down Broadway.
He was getting his surf camp hat yesterday when I walked into church.
Yeah.
No, this is so
and I looked at him and I said, I don't think that one's big enough for your ego. And I said, let me see that hat. We better set that on the very last little setting to get your ego in there.
Oy, oy. I'm just sitting here trying to be nice to our guests.
I'm
a punch bag. A complete punch bag over here.
Jealous of how soon he catches the waves.
Yeah.
Well, envy is
I know.
probably one of the deadly sins.
It is.
For sure it is.
100% is. No, it's really, Tim is one of those guys that no matter what we are saying back and forth to one another, it's absolutely.
Let's talk about your Android. What do you think? Amanda, let's talk about his Android.
That Android is a bane of my existence.
It's a pain in your existence. I would go up another vowel to start with the A's.
I mean, we can't name our group chat because of his phone. He doesn't think that we've responded to his text because he doesn't receive reactions on his phone.
That's not what really makes you mad. It's that I don't care if you responded.
Until you do, and then you scold me on air for not responding, and I have to show you that I did, and you just didn't know what it meant.
Is it just I want to just
you can't send hip young people like 3-letter words back to me. The letter, I don't know what those are.
OTW?
What does that mean?
OTW.
On the way.
There we are.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah. And if you have an Apple phone and you put OTW, it will autofill on the way for you if you want.
Yeah.
Well, but if you type congratulations on yours, does it do all kinds of balloons?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Android is doing that before. I just want you to know that.
You can't prove that.
I can. I can tell you because you don't have an Android to prove me wrong.
So, Amanda,
I do have an Android. It didn't do it when I had my Android.
I don't know if you know this, but Mike is debating, and I think he's about 99% going on a trip with us to El Salvador.
Yeah.
He's going to be the only cat with an Android.
You know that means that I have to work harder when he's gone. You take him surfing, and then I have to work harder.
I don't think she works harder. I think it's like the easiest week. It's like I just coast through. There's no BS to deal with. I don't get made fun of. All these things that go on.
He doesn't get made fun of.
She doesn't.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I bring on guests that make fun of me.
She has pictures of me holding on lovingly to dolphins while I'm gone.
Oh, did you see those, Tim? I can bring those back up.
Yeah, dolphins,
Please.
sharks. I think there's a picture of me jumping the shark in Fonzie's outfit.
There
from
is.
Happy to-
Is this AI?
Yes.
No.
It's all AI
Is it,
generated.
is it powered by AI?
No, this is powered by Amanda's Photoshop skills.
Which would be so much better if you'd use an Android to create it.
I don't think it works on Android.
So because of Mike
I love the fact though, that
and
she
his
uses,
Android,
Yeah.
everybody that's going on this has got an iPhone, but because of him, we've got to go to WhatsApp.
Of course.
That's okay.
Do you even know what WhatsApp is?
Yes, I do.
I'm
He's
the
an
least-
Android owner. Of course he knows what WhatsApp is because
Yeah.
he doesn't have iMessage.
Exactly.
I hate
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Okay.
I may have an iPhone. I just don't know if I want to bring it.
Okay.
Look at you.
First of all, it's probably like 7 generations old if I dug it out of the bag. But
Well, I'm trying to make your life easier.
my life does not need to be made any easier. I was born to suffer, Tim.
Facts.
Just the facts, please.
Just the facts. I was born to suffer. Now, so you just got back from a trip to
I did.
to Peru,
Peru,
right?
went down to South America.
First
yeah.
time to South America?
Yeah, first time below the equator.
Really?
Nice.
My travels from the first 22 years of my life consisted from Fort Lauderdale to North Carolina to Fort Lauderdale to Bimini,
Mm-hmm.
Fort Lauderdale to the Keys.
Mhm.
That's all I did for the first 22. I'd never seen snow until I think I was like 19.
Wait a minute. You lived in South Florida in the 80s and you tell me you never saw snow? I don't believe this.
Okay, I never saw frozen precipitation. How about that? Not the
There is no way Don Johnson's buying that.
not the Peruvian nose
Crockett and
candy.
Tubbs were a staple in your neighborhood.
No nose candy.
No nose candy.
Goodness.
I've heard about it.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Now, so but you've been on multiple trips with Christian surfers.
I have, yeah. It's been go.
How many have you been on?
4 to El Salvador,
Mm-hmm.
2 to the Dominican, 1 to Peru. Yeah, about 7.
What did you work on in Peru? What was the mission? Because the thing is, you're going to surf and you're meeting a whole lot of surfers where you go, is what I've been told. I haven't
Right.
been on a trip. But you're also doing mission work while you're there. So what was the mission work?
So there was only 5 of us that went. This was kind of like the first mission, the first time
Yep.
CS has gone down there, CSUS or CS International. And so it's only their second mission trip they've had down there
to all of Peru.
to all of Peru.
Okay.
So when we went down there, it was kind of like a fact-finding mission. You know, we knew we were going to partner with the CS in Lima and then the CS in Huanchaco. So we got in, we flew in like at nighttime and then spent the night at at a hotel and then got an in-country flight up to the northern part of Peru, a town called Huanchaco. And that's where surfing was invented, if you need to know, over 3,000 years ago.
So they and the Hawaiians are at war.
They're not
over
at war.
this.
The Hawaiians aren't even. The Hawaiians say 600 years. It's been that they in the South Pacific, but the Peruvians have been riding waves for 3,000 years.
For 3,000. They have proof of this?
They have proof.
They have photographic evidence?
It's on the internet.
Okay. Then it's true. It happened.
Never lies.
It's on the interweb. But no, we partnered with the CS chapter in Lima. So about 11 guys from there came up, and then there was also a CS chapter in Huanchaco. And so the first thing we did was we got with them, and then we went up to a town about 2 hours, about an hour and a half north of Huanchaco, a place called Pasamayo. I think it's Pasamayo. I can't remember. But anyways, we went up there, and then we were working with the Peruvian Surf Federation, teaching kids how to surf. Little 8, 10-year-old kids. I think I sent you a couple of pictures and videos. So little guys, you know.
Filtered through an Android, so we have no idea if they'll actually play or
I
not.
went to Amanda's iPhone.
Uh-huh.
And then while we were up there, then we taught little guys how to surf and stuff. And then we had we taught them how to paddle, da-da-da-da-da. And then the next day, we went to a place called El Faro.
Right. So I know as a stand-up paddleboarder, You don't know etiquette. So who taught them? Who taught them surf etiquette?
Well, so here
God,
we go.
all of my surf buddies love me right now.
I will continue.
Mike rocks.
So I will continue to try to keep it up here.
Yes.
Instead of down here where you tend to want to go.
I tend to live down
so the
there.
envy is it's just
It's
foaming.
palatable. You can feel it in the air. It's just
isn't
kind of
that
hanging
just
in
the
there.
nature of when you stand up, you're
Yeah.
up here, and when you lay down, you're down here?
Exactly. Exactly.
Keep it up, Amanda. Keep it up.
There we go. Amanda's
Employee reviews are coming up.
I have a very interesting bumper sticker. You want to show everybody this?
Oh yeah. So
What's the bumper sticker say?
I love to pee in my wetsuit.
anyways, there's two kinds of people.
Yeah.
There's the people that pee in their wetsuits.
Yes.
And there's the people that lie about peeing in their wetsuits.
That is exactly
That
correct.
is not correct.
That is correct.
Yes. I'm telling you,
Disavow.
I'm telling you, when the water's 55 and you got 98.6 inside of you, you can kind of warm up that wetsuit.
people would look at me and they'd be like, "What are you drinking all that water before you go out?" I said,
You know.
"Experience." That's
Exactly.
why.
Exactly.
Experience.
That's the voice of experience.
I worked in a wetsuit for years. I didn't pee in it. Ew.
Do you think the fish pee in the sea?
That ain't my pee.
Well, it's got to go somewhere.
I had W.C. Fields. Troy Blevins' favorite W.C. Fields joke of all time. The reason he didn't drink water. That's where fish pee.
Do you want to know why
I'm
the
only
ocean is
drinking
salty?
alcohol. I'm not drinking any water.
Do you want to know why the ocean is salty?
What is that?
It's not from the pee. There are lots of boys out there.
We were in Costa Rica and there were whales jumping way out. We're surfing and they breached a couple times. I'm like, man, I wonder what it's like if you're near a whale and they just like go to the bathroom out there. And my buddy who was surfing said, "Well, today you found out." It's like, I was just driving along the road. My eyes was like, "Oh, I didn't need to think about that." I was like thinking about it, but I wasn't going to think about it to that level. And yes.
Well, whales engage in a mating strategy that requires lots and lots of the male fluid, because they basically just go, as many of them go for the female as possible.
Oh.
And the one with the largest load is the one that lasts. And so that's
not size,
why
it's
the
load
ocean is so salty.
She didn't mention how many dump trucks were involved in this.
Because the
In
males
my
are,
mind,
the
I
males
see the
are hoping to
cement
flush
mixer
out
rolling,
the
right? 10
previous
cubic yards
male's
of-
deposit. So
Got it.
that's why you want lots.
So I just learned something
Mm-hmm.
from my marine biologist to my
Marine
left.
biologist person.
That's why whales have such very large testicles, but you can't see them. They're inside the blubber layer.
That's where mine are, inside my blubber layer.
I don't need to know that.
That's what you tell all the girls.
I don't need to know that either. I don't need to know any of that.
I have some tug of war videos here.
Yeah, I wanted to. You were really good standing there on the sideline telling your team to pull.
He's right there. He's pulling.
I'm pulling. This is where at an orphanage,
Yes.
and this was I think there was 3 or 4 adults and 3 or 4 kids from the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
And that orphanage's name is Mundo de Niños, Children of the World.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, it was heartbreaking when you go into an orphanage and then you, like the guy that runs that orphanage, a guy by the name of Mariano, and he would just tell us the story, you know, just a random story about, I think there was 11 boys there. And just how horribly they were treated, you know, at a very young age, 6, 7 years old, basically told, go out in the world and go make money, and whatever way you can do it. And I experienced the same thing with orphanages in the Dominican. Yeah, it's just a different dynamic, and sometimes it doesn't even register with me, and you're numb to it here. But the human trafficking in third world countries is second nature, and it's what families do with their children.
Well, we still deal with slavery and the repercussions of that in this country. But the thing that amazes me is some of the people that are caught up in trying to relive a history that is 100+ years old.
150.
all right, is that not one breath out of their is we should stop slavery today, because slavery exists in large swaths of the world today. It never went away. And it's abhorrent to me that one person would own another person or abuse another person in that way. And I look at that and I go, I get you can't go back and fix 150 years ago, but you can save people who are suffering from this
now,
today.
This day.
Right now.
Exactly.
And damn it, that's where the focus should be.
Absolutely. I will venture to say within the confines of the 48 continental United States.
It's here right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's here right now.
And a lot of it is flowing through probably our southern border.
Yes.
And those, some of those kids or whatever young adults are used as indentured servants along the way in the sex trade.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Well,
but I mean,
it's family hour.
It's appalling to me that the amount of time spent on trying to correct something that you can't fix in a rearview mirror, while in the front windshield you can see all this stuff going on around the world, and you'd rather look back to where you can't change it. It happened. You can't change it.
Those are noisemakers.
But you can affect the lives of people that are alive today. You can save them from this suffering that you feel was so bad 150 years ago, but you don't want to try to fix it today.
Oh, you're telling Noah about the flood right now. I mean, I can't believe hearing people yakking, I want my reparations, I want this, I want that. And then when you just hit the nail on the head, today in this country and probably every country in the world, there is some form of slavery being done to young children and maybe even young adults.
And then you have people that will bring this up, that it's their main focus. And the movie that was out last year, right, about the child trafficking, it was done by a Christian group. I can't remember the title of it.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom, right?
Timoteo.
Yes, right.
That's my Costa Rican. That's my Costa Rican name. That's what they call me in Costa Rica.
And you look at that, and people were mocking it. Right? And I'm sorry, I want to take some of the same things said by them, but if it's just one person that you save, then why don't you ask, well, let's save the one person. Let's fix as much of this as we possibly can. And then, you know what? Maybe they're right about that. Let's fix that. I think it's a much bigger problem than people want to recognize and talk about. I obviously think it's a bigger problem in certain areas other than in St. Johns County, but I guarantee if we brought the sheriff on here, he'd tell you instances and things that they've run into it here in the county. So but to me, I think it's 100%. We ought to be doing more about it. We ought to be fixing it. We ought to be recognizing. We ought to be talking about it. We ought to be teaching our kids to be able to recognize it. I remember when they put up kind of these safe space signs on some of these different restaurants and stuff. If you get here, it's a safe space. And you're like, okay, but you don't ever hear those saving stories, right? You don't hear somebody come in because a lot of this stuff is kind of swept under the rug and kept very, very quiet. Obviously, for some reason, because there's underage kids involved in it, right? You don't want to have them have to relive that experience and that torture. So, yeah.
And one of the orphanages in the Dominican that we work with, that CS works with, Niños de la Luz, Children of the Light. That's the name of the orphanage. The really cool thing that they do there is they'll get the kids from off the street, and they will take and just provide love for them and shelter and food, and then start rehabilitating them at, some kids as young as 6, 7, 8 years old. And then when they get to about 18 years old, they age out of the orphanage. And then they have a life skills program. They actually have a restaurant and a coffee bar. It's one of the it's called Vagamundo. And the kids have an opportunity to go and work and become productive members of society. There's actually, it moves forward. It's an amazing program.
Did you eat there every day that you were there?
We did.
I'm going to tell you right now, then the food must have been good. Because I've traveled with him, and we will go to the same place for lunch every single day if the food is good. We are not deviating from that.
The food in Puerto Rico, did I take you to good restaurants?
We took all but one.
There was one. Yes, this is true. That
was just a little. It's like we're going to try something a little different. No. We're like, let's go back to the other one. Let's go back to Rebar. Go back to Rebar.
Rebar. Let's go back to Rebar.
Rebar was really good. Yes.
But no, they have a great program in Dominican. And there's actually, which was really cool, and I think it's been going on for 19 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a young man in there at the restaurant who's like an assistant manager who started out at 11 years old in the orphanage. He's now married. He has kids.
Yep.
He's a productive man. He's like an important cog in the wheel
Mm-hmm.
for this organization.
Yeah.
So it's kind of come full circle. And you talk about one life that you impacted, and then this kid is helping out other kids. So it can generate into a cascading effect in the community.
And that's a special thing. I think faith-based people talk about it a lot, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
you have that one interaction with that one person, and then that person touches so many other lives, right?
Absolutely.
And you may have only been with that kid in one crucial moment of their life that kind of helped steer them in the right direction. And you have no idea the downward impact that you had because that person
Right.
began to
And then spidered out
that,
and,
yes,
and,
yep.
and then impacted other kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely, like I said, I can't think of her name. She was at the Surfers for Autism, and the little boy that she had said, "I'm so glad that I know you."
Mm-hmm.
And her response back to the little boy was, "No, I'm glad I know you."
Yeah.
Because the way you impacted my life.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a little emotional, but that's the important thing about, I think, and you doing an incredible job at giving back. But when you can impact someone's life just one-on-one, you have no idea how it's going to affect them 25 years from now.
No.
And I had people in my life at a very young age that impacted me that they have no clue what my life has turned into or not. Or
I've always looked at, I can never pay them back.
Correct.
The people that impacted me in a positive, I can never pay them back personally.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can do is do what they did for me for somebody else. And that's the only way in my mind. It's like, okay, I've honored what
Their
they
gift.
did for their gift to me. I've honored that and passed it on. And if I do that, then I've done the right thing. Because there's just no way to pay back. I mean, I think about my parents' impact on me, some teachers, some coaches, some really good friends. You being one of them, I know I give you an incredible amount of grief, but I in our family, we would joke that if we don't make fun of you, it's because we really don't like you that much. So when I'm joking with somebody, it's because I have a sense of respect for them. I like them. I know that I know they know that I'm not serious about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that they know how I feel. Right? If I don't know someone really close, the jokes that I share with really close friends, I would never share with them because it's like I don't want to insult them.
Right.
But if you're a really close friend of mine, he's just screwing with me. He's just messing around.
It's so funny. I had my youngest son, and I was taking him. He was going to work with me. Grady was going to work with me, and he's sitting in the front seat of my truck, and had a customer call me.
Mm-hmm.
His customer had been for 15 years, and I said, "Hey Jeff, how's it going? We were talking about this project we're doing up at St. Vincent's," and I said, yeah. And so he started wearing on me,
Mm-hmm.
and I started wearing on him a little bit.
Yes.
And then he was chuckling, laughing on the other side, and back and forth. We went back and forth for about maybe a minute and a half. I said, we got it taken care of. Boom, I hung up the phone.
Yeah.
And Grady's like, "Do you talk to your customers like that? Do you literally, they call you back when you the stuff you just said to him?"
Yes. Yep.
And I said, "Well, I have a natural rapport with him, and I've known him for 15 years.
Yep.
And he's gone from Flagler Hospital to St. Vincent's now, and he called me to come up to work up on their projects." And he goes, "Well, there was no respect in that conversation." Grady's very analytical.
Jeff can handle it.
Yeah,
I know who Jeff is. I know who Jeff is, and Jeff can. And I think that's part of it is understanding when you have that kind of relationship and friendship. Because I have people that I've worked for a long time, and it's a very serious yes sir, no sir. That's it.
Right.
There's no. I got to joke with them, but then when people that you kind of become friends with, you're able to say things to all the time, and it's really fun to have those kind of relationships. And yes, Barbara Jean, it is called paying it forward. That is correct.
There we go. I knew there was
There's a term for it. Yeah.
Yep.
paying it forward.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I think that's kind of the fun thing in life, right? Is to be able to give of your talents and your gifts and to help someone else see maybe something in themselves that they can't see at that time, and help them get to some place where it's just a better spot for them.
I agree. I mean, I think it was my father. I don't know if it was my mother or my father said sometimes
Get out.
No, that too. that was you're done. The school and you're not. 1 year at Broward Community and you're out.
Time to go.
No, I think it was the rent we pay in this life.
Yeah.
On earth is service to others.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it was one of my parents that told me that a long time ago.
Do you have people that come? I mean, for me, I've had a lot of interactions with younger people when I was coaching. And they'll come up to me and I go, "Do you remember what you said to me?" And I was like, "God, I really don't know. I don't know where this next line is going. And please, I was not having a bad day that day, right?" So sometimes I get some really good things. "I said that to you?" Yeah. And then it's like, "Oh, okay." And then other times like, "Hey, I remember saying that to you. I remember that one."
Well, I can remember a couple of things I said and gotten a little bit of trouble. But I was yelling at my kids. I was yelling at my kids.
Well, and it is a different, I coached my younger brother who was just 11 years younger, 12 years younger. And then I coached my kids and I watched that transition over that 25-year period.
Mm-hmm.
And things that I could say to my brother Rhett and his teammates, and they all took it. It's like, okay, that's old school coaching.
Right.
Well, by the time I got to the last group, I was
way.
like, I'm pretty much not going with the old school coaching. I'm just going to have to put that on. There's one or two kids, right, that could do that, but not. I mean, I had one instance where Ethan was a very focused, tough-nosed basketball player. And there was a kid on the other team that was just lighting us up. And he wasn't as athletic as 3 or 4 of the kids on our team, right? And so I referred to him as being unathletic. You know, do not let this unathletic kid score on us again. And I had grabbed Ethan by the shirt and I yanked him to me. And I knew I could do that with Ethan. I wouldn't have done that to
any other kid.
Logan Petty, I would have done that too, but I was afraid he would have thrown me as an 11-year-old. But you kind of knew. And there were certain kids on the team I would just go, "Hey, you need to play harder, tough." Ethan didn't let that kid score again for the next quarter and a half, right? I mean, that was it. "Okay, Dad, I got this. I'm going to go do it." But you kind of got to have to know today where that boundary is. And it's really hard. It's a lot harder than it was. I mean, when we were growing up, if the coaches weren't yelling at you, you're like, "Am I kicked off the team?"
Exactly.
If they're not yelling at me, I might not be on the team anymore.
I remember playing, and if the coaches were not in your grill, it was, you got it left and right. But I'll give you a funny one. Are we PG-13?
Yeah, you're
mostly.
Okay.
We're not Deadpool rating. We're not the new Deadpool.
Deadpool is not PG-13.
And no, it is not.
So I think it's Casey's team. It's either Casey's team or Kelly's team. I can't remember. But it's co-ed flag football. Yeah. With the Police Athletic League right over here at Pomar. Mm-hmm. And I remember I think it was Casey's team because it was definitely Casey's team. And so they had this girl on this team that was just really great athlete. I mean, she was just like this best tomboy, and she was lighting us up. Yeah, just working us like a rib. And I said, "Casey, you're my best athlete. You're on her." Well, they throw it over the middle. She catches it, touchdown. Yeah. "Casey, mark her. Get on her." You know, I'm like, wait a second, get on her. That didn't sound good. Yeah. And so now I'm like, and then at the time, the parents usually stood over on the other side, and the teams were over here, but the fields were back to back. Mm-hmm. So our team was right here, and our parents were right here, and their team was on the same sideline. So now I'm mad. I call a timeout, and I said, "Look, we're going to lose this game to a girl." Mm-hmm. So
Amanda is so proud of this girl that she does not know right now.
This girl,
she is so proud of her.
This girl ran like a gazelle. She was amazing. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm watching, and now it's in the heat of the game. It's like a minute and a half left. Mm-hmm. We're up by like 3 points or whatever it is. And I'm watching Casey, and it's like this girl's got cooties, you know? I mean, he's 10 yards off the ball. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any more timeouts to call. And I said, "Casey O'Neill, get on her like a prom date."
Oh, man. If I was her dad, I would have come over and punched you.
Her dad was over there.
Yeah, I'd have come and punched you. I'm just telling you right now.
And Well, I got an email Monday morning. I got an email Monday morning with a phone number to call and apologize.
Yes. Did you?
I did. Of course I did.
Yes.
I was the heat of the moment. And I mean, when you're competitive, you know, and you're getting smoked, it's anyways.
Well, and I did any part of the apology go, if your girl hadn't been so damn good, I wouldn't have had to say that.
I didn't go there, no. But it was, it was a low point.
Yeah.
It was a low point in my coaching career.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, there was another one. We had played 3 games in a weekend. So we had played a Friday night game, a Saturday morning game, and a Saturday afternoon, right? We had 3 games in 24 hours. And we got to the 3rd game, and I told my kids, I said, look, we should beat this other team, right? I'm looking at their talent. I said, but you guys are beat. This is their first game of the weekend.
They're coming out fresh.
Right, they're coming out fresh. I said, just give me what you got. Play hard. Let's be fundamentally sound. We get to halftime. We're down by a couple points, but one of the parents comes out of the stands, takes his kids out of the huddle, and starts explaining to him everything that he's doing wrong. And I'm like, man, when you guys grow up, just do me a favor. Don't be the dad that takes the fun out of the game for the kid. Let them enjoy the game. Let them go have fun during the game and have some faith in them, right? And teach them at home or somewhere else, but not in front of the
whole crowd.
Yeah, in front of the don't do that.
Right,
don't be that kind of no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I was also the coach that somebody yelled a score in T-ball behind me, one of the other, and I turned to look, I said, we're keeping score of this? We're keeping score of this? I said, I don't mean to tell you guys, but it gets a lot more competitive than this. Right? I was like, you're going to be nuts.
I remember that was my biggest pet peeve at Little League, and my kids didn't last long at Little League because my kids wanted to keep score.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, we're in the meaning of the game is we're just learning the fundamentals right now. And I'm like,
but I look at that, having watched the kids grow up. That part of it is just really instructional and to get them to kind of learn the game. And yet, wins and losses will eventually they count a whole lot of stuff. But it's really about making them have fun at it.
Right.
And if they're not having fun at it, they're not going back.
Right.
Right. And so that was kind of the thing for me is how do we enjoy this? How do we make practice fun? How do we make the games fun? Yeah, and you had kids that were naturally more advanced physically and sports-wise than other kids. But how do you make it fun for everybody? Because you never knew which kid was gonna blossom and take off, right? The kid that was the smallest kid in T-ball might be 6'9".
Yeah, that's right. Because they're 5 or 6 years old.
As a 13-year-old, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like, okay, we just got to work with all this. So.
The 13-year-old with the forged birth certificate.
No.
In the Little League World Series.
We don't live in those cities.
Just got a 5 o'clock shadow and a case of beer in the back.
Case of beer and a girlfriend and a baby mama.
And two college degrees.
Laughing a little too hard at that prom joke.
And an Olympic bronze medal in some sport. Yeah, you run into that every once in a while.
Yeah.
You do. You really. But I think that's the kind of the cool thing. So the Christian surfers, kind of, you got really emotional a little bit breaking down on that. Is any other stories that you want to share about that?
Yeah, I mean, we had the orphanage was really cool, and we had a lot of fun with that, teaching the kids to surf. But I think the one thing that really lasting for me is when you go to a third world country, whatever, any country, and then you partner with them and you're with them. I think we were with them for 8 or 9 days. The same group of people every single day. Like we had breakfast together, we'd surf together, we'd go out and do stuff with the kids together, go to the orphanage together, and then come back and have dinner together and then hang out.
Yeah.
And so they're almost like your family member. And then they literally, like, you know, after, it was really funny, the Peruvians, it's like they just discovered the internet and social media. Like,
those poor people.
They literally.
Those blessed people.
That's exactly what I meant. They don't do this. Don't go down this road that we've gone down. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. But one day you'll be watching this show.
They have literally, it's so funny. Like we would go and we're going to go surfing at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we're getting our wetsuits on, getting ready to go. And they're like, hey, photo. And they're like, well, who brought a camera and a phone? And like one of them just pulls a phone out, and then they all would get together and say, hey, Timoteo, over here, team, over here, Caleb, over here, Jacob, over here. And so they put you in the middle and stuff, and then they'd all get around you and go like,
get in the picture.
They would all do this. And I'm like, no matter what we did, if we're going to go get a bite to eat, and they go, photo. And they're like, there must have been I couldn't tell you how many times they put us together to take pictures.
Well, that was another thing. I've been going to Costa Rica since 2011, and it was probably around 16 or 17 that you noticed a marked change, right? So prior to that, occasionally you might see somebody with a phone on the side of the road waiting.
Right.
By 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there, 19, right? A lot of people had phones.
Yeah.
And they weren't talking to each other anymore. They were just like we are in their state, sitting right next to somebody and watching their phone rather than engaging and interacting with other people. And I wrote down their other friend of mine, I said, we have ruined this country too.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. My first trip to El Salvador, the first day we went out and we went to like a homeless shelter and we were helping out the homeless. The second or third day, I want to say it was a Saturday evening, we went and we got these water filters. They catch the water with a cistern up on top of the roofs.
Yeah.
And then it comes down into a barrel, and whatever's in that barrel is in the water.
Yeah.
And we were drinking bottled water, but they were drinking whatever or bathing or whatever with that water.
Yeah.
So we put together these water filters, and so we would go out into this little, it was Mahara. I can't think of the name of the little town, but anyways, we out there. It's like this little fishing village, and it's just row upon row upon row of homes put together that are just and not even tin roofs, some of them just thatched, and no running water, no electricity, no nothing. So we'd show up and, hey, my name is so and so. We talked to them. We had a Salvadorian with us, and what little Spanish I can speak, and we're explaining to them this is going to filtered water, and then we'd just go scoop 5-gallon bucket and put it in the filter, and the water was and then we would run it through the filter and drink it. And then, look, drink it. And they're like, oh, the gringo's drinking it, And so we were teaching them how to use the water filter and stuff. So anyways, we're at this one people's house, and there's a little boy there. He's got to be like 5, 6, 7 years old. And he's got a smartphone. And I'm looking. There's no electricity. Yeah. Like, it's dark, and there's a fire.
Yeah.
And there's no electricity. And I'm like, he's on a smartphone.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, in Spanish I didn't know what to say. I said to one of the Manuel, I said Manuel, how in the heck, how's he charging that phone?
Yeah.
And he said, the little motorcycle, little moped, they've got a little 12-volt battery and some sort of little connection, and they're charging that phone.
That's amazing.
And there must be like free Wi-Fi in the area or something, and they literally got smartphones, and they don't have running water. And they don't have...
But they have a smartphone.
So talking about what you're saying...
We're ruining this country. We should be giving them water and not that.
Yes.
All right. It is Monday. We do 5 questions on Monday.
Okay.
We got to hustle because it's got to take 8 minutes. So we might not get to all of them. So right now I have a pet driving peeve. So while you guys are thinking about... Mine is, it seems like every single day I see somebody change a lane in the middle of an intersection. And
that's a pet peeve.
It is driving me.
Guilty as charged.
I saw someone almost cause an accident like 3 times in a row. I say, don't change the lane in the intersection. Just don't do it. It's just a friendly reminder for you. I won't yell at you.
I'm guilty. I've done that before.
Yeah. Don't do that. Pet peeve.
When I'm riding my bike, because I always go towards traffic, watching people put makeup on or eat or play on their phones.
Okay.
Doing all kinds of stuff instead of focus and hands 10 and 2.
For me, I just saw it yesterday, day before yesterday, cutting off a semi. Like cutting in front, getting right in front of a semi truck and then just braking.
Brake checking them.
You just don't want to be behind them to get off the exit. So like you cut them off and then slow down so you can get off the exit. And then that semi driver's like crapping his pants and he's about to murder somebody from behind. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I told you we get lots of comments. I told you we would get comments on that. All right. So Amanda had a question. Favorite fiction book. So can you explain to Tim and I what fiction is?
Yes.
Not real. Nonfiction is real.
The stuff we tell each other about surfing.
It was like
your fish stories, your wave stories.
It was 8 foot and perfect. And when you showed up, the wind went on shore.
Yeah, right.
So, favorite fiction book?
All right, so my new favorite fiction book is from our friend Trey King. He's been on the show a few times. His book just came out. I haven't read it yet, but he left it for me, so that's going to be my new favorite fiction book.
What age group is that for?
This is young adult fiction. It's aimed towards boys, but I'm going to read it, so it works.
It's too advanced for us.
Yeah.
There's not enough pictures.
I need more.
There's a couple pictures.
Yes. Does parts of it rhyme? Because I'm used to the books with the rhyming in them.
He's not Dr. Seuss.
I was hoping for that. All right. So it's led me to one favorite Father's Day gift. Father's Day's coming up. So favorite Father's Day gift.
That you've received?
Well, yeah, I mean.
Or you've given?
I don't know that I ever gave a great Father's Day gift, right? You always wonder about that as a kid. Because some of the stuff that we gave our dad when we were younger, Dad had to look at that and go, I worked a whole year for that tie. I worked a whole year for that, right? And I've gotten some of those as a dad, right? But your kids were just trying to so I mean, for me, probably the greatest gift is just having the kids around on that day.
Right.
It's just spending some time with them, being able to talk to them. And, they're all adults now. So you talk about different things today. So for me, that's kind of the gift of it as a
will
dad.
Will this be Reese's first Father Day?
Yes and no.
Oh, so he adopted.
They didn't adopt, but his wife Courtney has a boy, Sean, great young man.
Yeah, I met him.
And really, really, the whole family has just. I say adopt, right? We've just taken him in. And just, he's one of the family,
right?
So it's just really, he's got a dad and great grandparents and aunts and uncles who have done a phenomenal job with him. His mom has done a great job with him as well. I mean, so just kind of blessed to have him around as a part of that.
Right.
So I did tell him he might be my favorite grandkid because I never had to change his diaper.
That's.
I never had to do that.
I told Riley I don't want to be a grandfather yet.
Coward.
You're running out of time. I'm just telling you, father time is not on your side.
He's been pretty evil to me too.
Father time. So now, for me, I the fiction books, I enjoy a lot of the kind of the spy novels and the CIA stuff. So the Mitch Rapp series, which I've read for forever. I just got into the Terminal List, the James Reese book. So Carr was the author was a Navy SEAL who then the Terminal List was his first book.
Yeah.
And it is a really great, easy read. I watched the Amazon series.
Right. Not good.
The book is like 10,000 times better.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really, really good. So I really, really like that.
I think for me, I like anything Ernest Hemingway, and I would probably say Islands in the Stream, which is a great book that my parents or my father encouraged me to read because it was the islands in the stream were the Bahamas. And it talks about how Ernest Hemingway was a single father and he took his kids over to the Bahamas and he ended up losing one of his kids. I mean, his life is very tragic, but he writes about it. So I wouldn't say it would be fiction, maybe nonfiction. I don't know.
It could be fictionalized.
Yeah. He lost me with A Farewell to Arms. I had to read that for a class in college. I think that when I got to the last,
you didn't.
I threw it across the courtyard because I was so mad that the girl had died and the baby. I was like, I'm out. I'm out.
No, I mean, you just have to, when you read him, you have to remember there's always going to be tragedy.
Yeah.
And everything's tragic.
Oh, I threw 1984. I got to the end of 1984 and I threw it in the back seat. I didn't like the way it ended.
You just didn't read the sequel. It's called The Matrix.
The sequel is what we're living right now.
No. This is actually the real life thing. All right. So, Tim, you and I may be going on a trip, which means we'll come back here and talk about the Christian Surfers again.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully all that pans out. I really would love to go with you guys. The morning show will be on. Davey, Pete.
That guy, Troy.
Yeah, that
mystery man.
On.
Mystery man.
He is a mystery man.
The prospector.
I call him the Cat in the Hat.
The cat.
That's a Dr.
He
Seuss.
literally is the cat in the hat.
That's what when I see him, I say he's the cat in the hat.
Oh, man. Okay, those of you out there that see Troy in the next few weeks, your goal is to call him the cat
in the hat.
That is your goal, to see how many of you can call him the cat in the hat.
Cat in the hat. That's always been.
All right, it's been a great show, Tim. Thank you very much.
Absolutely,
Always
Michael.
good to see you.
Always good to be here.
Amanda, thank you. And we'll be back tomorrow with Super Davey.
Bye.